aim for a debt-free life as soon as possible. And I call it survival goods and services sector in my book. The idea is very simple, right? If you have debts, the banks basically control you, right? So you need to get out of that trap as soon as possible. And the SCS sectors would include like your primary residence, place where you dwell, primary mode of transport, could be your car, and then having some savings so that you get some passive income to cover for your monthly expenses on utilities and food and other expenses. I was just casually talking to one of my neighbors the other day, and this is just an example how the system traps you into thinking that they actually care for you. So the bank was offering him 5% on certificate of deposits. And my neighbor had $5,000 in extra savings that he was contemplating whether he should keep investing in the certificate of deposit or do something else. And I knew that he had a loan in his primary residence. So let's do the math here, right? So he has 5,000 in extra savings. So times that, 5% is you get $250 per year. So that's the extra cash that he makes on that year. But if you invest or if you pay your principal on your house, that $5,000 can actually save you, depending on what point you are in paying your mortgage. It could either save you, anywhere from $25K down to $20K, $15K, $10K, $5K, lower than that, depending on at what stage you're still paying your mortgage. Depending on at what phase you're paying the mortgage. So obviously, if you're in just year 2, this is going to be high. And then as year passes on, maybe if you're in year 10 or 15, it drops, right? Because it's kind of the reverse compound interest formula that kicks in. Number 2, grow your own food. Now, this may not be applicable to everybody because not everybody owns a home. But what really baffles me in America is when I see those front lawns and backyards not being utilized, it just baffles me. Like, why don't we grow apples, peaches, plant avocados in the front lawn? And why don't we do some vegetable gardening in the back? I saved around $500 a month in fresh produce just by doing some backyard farming. And the value of teaching my kids how to grow their own food and just that feeling of plucking that ripe fruit and vegetables is just unquantifiable. Last year I bought a freezer for $250 and I could save vegetables for a couple months, and that was still better. It still tasted better than the produce that I got from the stores. Number 3 is stop outsourcing. A few examples that I want to give you that I do myself is like I change the engine oil of my car myself, and I save about, like, if I go outside, it would probably cost me around $100, and if I do it myself, I get $19 oils from Costco, and then I did a one-time investment in the tools. That was not much, around like $30-40, but then that's it, right? That's a one-time investment, and if you ignore that, so I save around $80 on each car oil change, and it only takes me like 30 minutes. And like, trust me, like I don't have any background in auto parts, maintenance and all of that. So I just watched a video for 10 minutes on YouTube on how to change that, and I could do that myself. Another example is I built like a baby door on the stairs, and that was just an easy installation. of some wood panels and basic door that I made myself by getting some woods pieces of woods from Home Depot. Another example, we cook most of our food at home. We do not buy pre-packaged, pre-processed food from the stores. Most of our food, even for babies and ourselves, is raw ingredients that we get from the stores, and we cook ourselves at home. So, all of these, just by doing that every month, I can easily say we save about, anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month just by preparing meals at home. So remember, self-reliance is wealth. Number 4, simplify lifestyle. Now, we probably know this, but I'm going to repeat this. Excessive consumerism is how they keep us enslaved in the chains. It does not have to be about deprivation, like some YouTubers aim for securing your primary residence, your primary mode of transportation, and just have some savings account that gives you passive income. And once you secure that, you are prepared for the worst. So even if recession hits, or even if you lose the job, even if something catastrophic happens in the economy, you are still prepared for the worst. And so you will survive. If you survive the winter, you're going to easily survive the summer times. Everything I'm sharing in this video, I'm teaching to my kids because I don't want them trapped. I do not want them thinking that the rat race is normal. I do not want them believing banks are their friends. I do not want them living tired, broke, and confused in the number one economy. You escape the system by doing the opposite of what it trains you to do. Be debt-free, be healthy, be self-sufficient, understand money, live simply, own your time. That's real wealth, and that's the only way out.